Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria! But try to keep it down. I'm currently in disguise because, well, they're not used to unicorns around here, so... What am I doing here? It's like... Wait, and who are you? What are you? What are you doing? Hey, Ray, get off of me! Hey, no! No, I don't want to go over there. There's tanks and planes and things over there. Oh. Okay, if you want to go over there, but I promise you this is gonna hurt you a lot more than it's gonna hurt me. Oh no, gunfire! Missed. Oh no! Blah. See, told you. Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria. I hope you like that opening. I just threw it together, so. Yeah, so. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little about the Battlefield 1 beta. It's pretty good because it's just good. I mean, I've played for a reasonable amount of time, I guess. Yeah, my first thoughts on the beta are that it's very balanced. It's like everything feels. That's a short answer. It just feels balanced. Everything about it just feels good in that. Yeah, it doesn't feel like one class has a massive advantage over the other. It's like even the big one being the tanks. I mean, tanks are obviously very formidable. They're definitely, oh my gosh, it's a tank, but it's not like, oh no, we're all gonna die kind of a thing. That it feels like you can actually do something against the tank. But at the same time, if you're playing as a tank, you feel pretty, good, because, you get one or two random people coming at you. You're probably going to be able to handle it fairly easily, but at the same time, if those guys are packing anti-tank grenades or some sort of other anti-tank ordnance, you could be in a little bit of trouble. So I think it feels good, though. It doesn't feel like tanks are useless. It doesn't feel like tanks are crazy overpowered. I feel right. I like it. And I must admit, I kind of like the K rounds, or the armor-piercing rounds. Just like, yeah, even though they'll do, like, no damage to a tank, I still enjoy shooting that armored vehicles. It's always fun. Yeah, so it was like, one of my favorite tank, I guess, disables. Oh, I guess I'll say this now, but yeah, it's like... But yeah, my two favorite tank killing / tank destroying stories are that, I'm by myself. The first one is, yeah, I was by myself. I see a tank over there. I'm an assault class, so I throw a couple anti-tank grenades at it, and I think I did a little bit of damage to it. It's like, oh, darn it. And then I guess I can't remember what happened. I guess I ran in. Oh yeah, I tried to place anti-tank mines like along the trade tracks, and then I just start walking back right in front of it. And I start walking backwards and sort of just like kind of trying to lure the tank forward. And I kind of surprised that A, that I was still alive at that point, and B, that the tank was actually coming towards me. And the tank drives over the first anti-tank mine. It does does some significant damage to it. I think at that point the tank killed me, but fortunately it's just a video game. And then the tank continued to come forward and drove over the second mine and then blew up. Yo, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, the second tank disable. I think this was a tank disable, not a tank kill. Anyway, yeah, I was by myself on, I think it was at D, and I jump on an anti-aircraft gun, because I see this tank coming over there, so it's near the end of the match. It's like, okay, I'll jump on the anti-air gun and just shoot at it, because they destroyed the artillery gun. And so I start shooting at him. It's doing like 10 damage and stuff. Okay, it's doing something, but it's like, okay. And obviously the tank realizes where the fire's coming from and starts coming towards me. It's just like intending to run me over. And I get off the gun just as the tank is about to like run over me, step to the side, pull out my rifle with the K rounds, hit it in the side, and disabled it. So, yo. Of course, the people in the tank jumped out and killed me, but again, fortunately, it's just a video game, so... But that was so cool, that was a lot of fun. It's like, honestly, I think hunting tanks is, one of my favorite things to do. The other is actually playing with tanks, playing as a tank. It's like, I definitely enjoy that. My favorite tank is the heavy tank, because... you get, as the driver, you get basically a cannon in the front, so that's kind of cool. So even if you're by yourself, you'll have the ability to deal with infantry or other tanks, whereas like the other ones, you get sort of either light guns or machine guns, which don't really do anything to tanks. But, yeah, but so overall, I like that one, because yeah, that one you can do okay by yourself. I mean, this is obviously a very team-based game, but I also like the possibility that by yourself, you could still do something. You're obviously going to do better operating with a squad, and I definitely enjoyed doing that from time to time. Like I was with a squad who was primarily snipers, and they were all, like, sitting on, like, this ridge, obviously sniping. So I decided to spawn as the support class, because I would like to say I'm good at sniping, but I'm really not. I'm still working on it. I'm still figuring out, how much bullet drop there is and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so, but yeah, honestly, I'm not really that good at sniping. So I spawn as a support class, throw up some ammo, and then run off the ridge and then try to run into the main area and just do something. So I kind of like that. So that was sort of a joint teamwork sort of solo thing. So that's kind of cool. And I like the fact that you can do both, and, But again, I am pleased that this is a team-based game, and that they're trying to encourage teamwork, capture the objectives, working with other people, and I like that. Like a fully loaded tank with every gunner position available is a very deadly machine. A tank with just the driver, often usually not so much, because like with the land ship, it's like the only anti-tank guns are on the side. So if you're by yourself, you have to jump to one of those guns, and which means you have to stop and then shoot at that tank, and then you're much more vulnerable, of course. And obviously you can't man every position by yourself because all that stuff. But yeah, it's like that's why I kind of like driving the tank a lot, especially with a fully loaded, with all the gunners, because then it's about positioning your tank so that your gunners can be the most effective. And I think that's kind of when I really enjoy that, and all that stuff. And I'm starting to ramble on, and I'm probably gonna try to make this a little not super crazy long, particularly because I have no gameplay footage, which I probably should have, but but yeah, graphically, it's actually pretty good. It looks very nice. It's always the little details that are always the coolest, and that's just cool and everything. And it's like, yeah, like there's this one gun where it's like it doesn't actually have a magazine. It's a machine gun. It doesn't have a magazine, but it has like this rack of like bullets, and you can see the rack actually moving as the bullets go into it and come out. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, anyway, but yes. Okay, so I'm starting to lose focus. It's like, yeah, one thing graphically I don't like is the sandstorm. It's like, reminds me of a line from Fraggle Rock. It's like, oh, this isn't difficult. This is impossible. I know sandstorms are a real life thing, and they were a real big problem. But it's like, the first sandstorm I was in was in an airplane. I literally can't see, like, anything. It's like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to fight other airplanes or do airstrikes or do anything in this. It's like, I'm in some ways I'm not worried about the enemy. I'm worried about smashing into the ground because I can't see where I'm going. So yeah, that doesn't make it hard, it makes it impossible. I was thinking that if you were an airplane and you were in the middle of a sandstorm like this, you just turn around and go home. You're not gonna try to I mean, it's like, you to a point, honestly, that would be the correct thing to do, but of course, depends, of course. But, yeah, I mean, and again, even when you're an infantry guy, you can't see probably, like, 50 feet in front of you, and so it makes it really, really, really hard to the point of almost being impossible. But again, it's a real-world problem. It was a real-world thing that I'm sure the real soldiers had to deal with, so it's like, but yeah, that's one of those elements of realism that I really don't like, so... But overall, I really do like Battlefield 1. I like its simplicity. I think that's the thing. There's two things going for Battlefield 1. Is that, first of all, it's something that we've never seen before. World War I just isn't featured in movies and video games because it was pretty bad. I mean, trench warfare was awful. I mean, my reaction was definitely the same as the director. I think it was the director, but it's like, trench warfare? That doesn't sound like fun. Of course, it wasn't. It was awful. But anyway, as all warfare is, of course. But anyway, but of course, I think that's why they chose these maps very carefully, because these do not have trenches at all. It's just basically a town in a desert. So, which was something that I think a lot of, when we think World War I, we think trenches in France, but this was a world war. There were battlefields everywhere, so, and all that. But this is something, but it's because of that. That's why World War I has not been in a lot of movies and video games and all that, so it's something new, it's something we haven't seen before, even though its weapons and everything are really old, and obviously not as sophisticated and nice as modern weapons are. They don't have all the fancy attachments. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see a little bit of the attachments and how that worked, but of course it's a beta. It's a beta, so yeah, you're not going to see that, but would have been nice too. Yeah, I mean, the ever beta syndrome thing is that you couldn't unlock class XP, and therefore you couldn't unlock everything. Like, you can't unlock the rocket gun, which sounds like a fairly important thing for the assault class. It's basically sort of, in a way, it's sort of like a single fire bazooka, I guess. But at the same time, I swear that I was destroyed as a tank and as an infantryman by them. So somehow there's a way to unlock it in the beta, but But anyway, yeah, so anyway, oh dear, I forgot where I was starting with this. So anyway, but yeah, overall, this game is really good because it's something we haven't seen before, and it's going for simplicity. Like there's basically obviously there's like 4 guns for each main class of this beta, and there's obviously more, but there's like different, but you can tell there's like different variants of each. There's like a close range one, a medium range one, a long range one, and sort of I don't know, somewhere between, so they get all that. So they're not going through, so probably gonna limit the number of attachments and stuff like that, because yeah, it's like you go into like the Battlefield 4 screen with like all these attachments and gadgets and things, and it's just gets overwhelming, and it's also like, oh, what do I don't know what to put on my gun anymore. Oh, it gets complicated. So I think they're probably going to go for simplicity, which I think is the way to go, because that's also why I kind of like this. Like, there's no missiles, there's no guided weapons. It's all, good old-fashioned machine guns and bullets and stuff, grenades. It's like that, like, good old-fashioned World War I fighters. It's like nothing beats a gun kill. It's like, but there's also rockets and other weapons, and there's different loadouts for all the different tanks, and of course horses. It's like, horses? Who would want to play as a horse? As a cavalryman? Who would want to do that? Each has their own advantages and disadvantages, and there's something for everybody. Because, yeah, like, the cavalryman is good at just flanking, it's like, run past the defenses and everything. It's like, yeah, for my opening, it's like, I actually had to try and find some place that I was gonna get killed in as a horse, because you just run through enemy territory. For the most part, they won't kill you. But, of course, there have been times where, I jumped on a horse and been killed almost instantly. It all depends on who you're fighting, I kind of like the scout class in some ways best. I haven't decided which one I really like the best, but I kind of like the sniper rifle and everything. It's like, I see a guy on a horseback, I look, ooh, a challenge. Trying to hit a guy on a horseback, that's really hard, and when you pull it off, it's pretty cool. So anyway, yes, I'm unfortunately becoming off track and being unfocused and everything, but yeah, this game is just really good because it's just simply something. It's ironic. It's using old antique. It's using old obsolete weapons, but in some ways that's kind of what we want. We want something we haven't seen before. Like, especially in Battlefield, it's like we've played the same game with like the same weapon set for several things, both in Battlefield and Call of Duty. So it's like it's time to use a different weapon set with weapons that no one has probably ever seen before. It's like. Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely, I think the ever is that there's something for everybody, especially in Conquest. It's like, if you want to sit around and fly planes, you can do that. If you want to drive tanks, you can do that. The ever nice thing is that you can actually spawn directly as a tank, which is kind of nice. Obviously, you can't just, I remember hearing about an actual tank driver class that you can spawn directly into as a tank. I don't know if that was actually present here or not, but I think it might have been, actually. But obviously you have to wait for a tank to be available. You can't just all spawn as tanks. That would be kind of... I hope there's a mode where you can kind of do that. I would kind of like that, just like I hope there's modes where you fight Obi in planes, fight like Obi airships. That would be cool. I hope there's that stuff too. Yeah, the other interesting thing about this beta in terms of that regard is like, yeah, I believe the alpha testing, which I wasn't a part of, that the big enemy machine was an airship. Here, the big enemy machine that can spawn is that sometimes spawns when like the team is losing too badly, or I think the winning team captures like all the points. It's an armored train with like with a big artillery gun on it and lots of machine and cannons on it. So that's kind of cool. So probably every map will have some sort of big super machine. I think it's Behemoth, I think is what they call it. So that I like that. I mean, I think that's just cool. I actually got to sit in the actually got to be on one of the gunners on the train once. I actually got to drive it for like 5 seconds before the map ended. I think I got to fire once and that was it. So dear. So, but still, I mean, there's just simply something for everybody here. And of course, if you want to be a classic infantryman, you could do that. You have your pick. And again, none of the classes feels ridiculously overpowered or you know, or weak. They all feel right. They all feel like they have something to contribute. And I think that I think just overall this game is just really good. I like it, and so far I really like the beta, and I'm definitely looking forward to the release of the full game, and hopefully it'll be really cool and like... And I think, yeah, I think I will be making a separate video about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare once its launch gets closer. But it's gonna be kind of not. But I think I will say here that it's gonna be kind of nice to have one game into the future, one game into the past. It's like, you know, for me, it's like, you know, it's like I can't lose. It's like I'm gonna like one. It's like if I get bored with World War One, I'll go into the future, or if I get bored with the future, I'll go into World War One. So. And I think it is nice to see, you know, Battlefield, you know, doing something that just simply hasn't been done before, and I think it was just really good. And I think it's just simply looking, and I think they've just done, I think they've done a very good job so far, and I like it. So yo. Okay, so I think I've rambled on enough about this for now. So, so as always, thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing. And until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong. And pony on. Blue Star out.